Hello and welcome to another session of our English vocabulary series based on 504 absolutely essential words, as you can see, on LELB Society. This session we focus on lesson 38 of 504 absolutely essential words. I do my best actually to complete all of the 42 sessions, 42 lessons or units of this vocabulary course book. Before starting, as usual, let me just show you the flashcards on unit 38. This is Frank. Let me see. This is Frank, a person who is candid, honest, and straightforward. And if you just place the cursor of your mouse over the hyperlinks, you will see some illustrations. This is thrust, means to push out and to expel, and this is violent, and this is feeble, means weak, ineffectual. This is monarch. And this is revive, and you can see the person, actually these officers or firefighters are just performing CPR on this person. And this is candidate, and this is interview. And also you can have access to the definitions, examples, and even transcriptions. Candidate. So this unit, you can see so many flashcards. Loyalty, poor, community, traitor, which means treacherous, betrayer, prejudice, and that's it. Now let me guide you with the text, full text of this lesson. And you can just follow us on lelb.net to have access to the full text and many other services. Okay, the first word is biography. You know, bio means life and graphy means writing. So if you just break it down into its ingredients, or let's say the roots, this is called etymology, for example, you can understand and learn words better. It's the written story of a person's life, the part of literature which consists of biographies. Yeah. If a person writes his own or her own biography, this is called autobiography. Let me autobiography. Okay. Our teacher recommended the biography of the architect Frank Lloyd Wright. So our teacher suggested or recommended the biography of the architect Frank Lloyd. I'm not sure about the pronunciation of Lloyd or Lloyd. It's not important. Sentence B. The reading of a biography gives knowledge of people and events that cannot always be obtained from history books. So if you just happen to read biography books and have information about the biography of people based on biography materials that are different from history books, you can gain some insights about the lives of famous people that cannot be just accomplished through reading the history books. obtain. That's why we have obtain here. It means you cannot gain, G-A-I-N, or glean information, glean or acquire. Okay. History books. Sentence C. The biography of Malcolm X is a popular book in our school. Malcolm X seems to be a political figure, I'm not sure. So we are not here practicing history of politics. So the biography of Malcolm X is a popular or famous book, well-known book in our school. Okay. The second word is drench, means to wet. Remember, it's a verb. So wet can be used as a verb too. To wet thoroughly or completely. To soak or to saturate. Okay. A heavy rain drenched the campus and the students had to dry out their wet clothing. So the rain was showering. Or you can say it was raining cats and dogs. It means actually the rain was almost heavy. Drenched and wet the campus. Campus refers to the physical location of a school or university, and the students had to dry out their wet clothing. Clothing refers to the set of clothes that you wear or the way you get dressed. Okay. All right. Also, you can say the students were soaked or completely wet. The drenching rains resumed after only one day of sunshine. The drenching rains. Also, you can say precipitation. Remember, precipitation in the terminology of weather and weather-related, let's say, vocabulary, it means the act of snowing and raining, and the amount of rain or snow that the earth can get, from the sky. This is just one of the meanings. Okay. The drenching rains resumed. Resume means to start again after a while, after a gap. Resume after only one day of sunshine. So it was raining, and just for one day there was sunshine, and then actually the rain started again. His fraternity friends tried to drench him, but he was too clever for them. Fraternity means cooperation, means collaboration, teamwork, and also brotherhood. Brotherhood. Because in French, frère means brother. Okay. His fraternity friends means friends that share the same amount, the same level of interest and profession. They were trying to just tease him, to drench him, or wet him completely, but he was smart or clever, actually to forestall them. Forestall means to know that what is about to happen and do something to counteract it, to prevent something. So he did not let his friends drench him. Number 3, swarm. Swarm means a group of insects flying or moving about together. A crowd of great number, to fly or move about in great numbers. So it generally refers to insects, particularly bees and wasps, moving from one place in another, especially in reference to bees when they want to find a new hive or a new location. So this is swarm. As darkness approached, the swarms of children playing in the dark dwindled to a handful. As darkness just approached or got closer, the swarms means groups of children playing in the dark dwindled. It means the number of children playing in the dark just reduced to a handful. It means just several, below 10. The number was below 10 because of the fact that it was getting darker and more difficult for the children to play. Okay. So the mosquitoes swarmed out of the swamp. So these words are so similar. Swamp is a piece of land that has some water, and generally it is muddy and not a very clean place, and some animals just start growing there. The mosquitoes swarmed out of the swamp. It means they just flew in a group or in groups from that stretch of land or piece of land that is a swamp. Our campus swarmed with new students in September, because September is generally the starting month of an academic year, and new students just register for university or college courses, and there are freshmen. We have freshmen, sophomore, and junior and senior students. The novice students are called freshmen. And campus refers to the physical location of a university and college. Our campus swarmed with new students. So let's say at the outset of this academic year, like the others, in September, we saw a lot of new students, new registered students. Wobble. Wobble means to move unsteadily from side to side. Usually babies, when they want to start walking, they just wobble because they just go through a developmental stage, so they cannot just all of a sudden stand up and walk. Takes time. Sentence A. Little Perry thrust his feet into the oversized shoes and wobbled over to the table. Little Perry, it must be a child. He must be a child. Thrust, this is the simple past. We don't have thrusted, just thrust. Means put or placed his feet into the oversized shoes. So, for example, the shoes of his father or mother or older siblings, brothers or sisters or somebody else who was older than him, and wobbled over their table. Because actually the shoes were over, let's say, much bigger than his real feet, and therefore in order to walk, he had to just wobble, and in an unsteady way. And sentence B. A baby wobbles when it begins to walk alone. Yeah, I already explained it to you. It's clear. And sentence C. Lacking experience to the high high wire, the clown wobbled along until he reached the safety of the platform. Yeah, the clown is a person who acts in a circus generally in order to entertain viewers, and he was just, for example, walking on a wire or rope at a high altitude to entertain the spectators or viewers, and because of the fact that he was inexperienced or not experienced, he wobbled along. He just walked unsteadily and he was about to fall down before he reached the safety of the platform. Okay. Word 5, tumult, means turmoil. Also, you can say turmoil is a good synonym for that. Okay, noise, uproar, violent disturbance or disorder. Then we have cacophony. Cacophony. Yeah, cacophony. The sailors' voices were too feeble to be heard above the tumult of the storm. So the sound of the storm was so overwhelming that it did not let the sound of the sailors be heard. So the voices of the sailors were too feeble or weak to be heard. So we could not hear their voices because of the fact that the sound of the storm was louder. See, it was overwhelming. Okay. Okay, sentence B. There was such a tumult in the halls, we concluded an accident had occurred. So I repeated, my intonation was not that accurate. There was such a tumult in the halls, we concluded an accident had occurred. It means that there was such a cacophony or uproar in the hall that we came to this conclusion, we deduced that there must be an accident occurring or happening in the hall. Sentence C. The dreaded cry of fire caused a tumult in the theater. Dreaded means worried or worrisome or anxious. The dreaded cry or a scream or shout of fire, somebody said fire, caused a tumult in the theater. So there was such a state of confusion among the viewers or spectators, and they were just searching for the exit of the theater to get out of that hall. Word 6, kneel. Remember, K is not pronounced, it is silent. Like knife. Let me give you some words. Like knife, and the plural of knife is knives, and knowledge, and know, not. You know, these are some examples. Go down on one's knees. Knee is a part of your leg between, let's say, in the middle of your leg, and there is a joint, and your leg can just bend from that joint. So this is knee. Remain on the knees. Sentence A. Mira knelt. The past form of kneel, knelt. Knelt down to pull a weed from the drenched flower bed. Mira knelt down, so she almost sat down to pull out, to remove a weed. It's a kind of parasite, you know, unwanted or unpleasant, let's say, vegetables that feed on the food of the crops, so the farmers try to just get rid of them. From the drenched or wet flower bed. Flower bed refers to a fertile piece of a turf or lawn or garden. It's the soil is so fertile or fertile. Okay, in your garden, for example. This is good for gardening. Okay. Sentence B. The condemned man knelt before the monarch and pleaded for mercy. Condemned man. It means the man was condemned, perhaps to death. We are not sure. Or he was just criticized severely. He knelt before. Before means in front of the monarch or king, and pleaded means request, means beg. Plead for means request or beg or implore or importune, means to beg for something, for mercy or kindness, because he wanted to be exempted from, or let's say excused. Okay. Sentence C. Kneeling over the still figure, the lifeguard tried to revive him. Who was kneeling over the still figure there? The lifeguard. So the subject of these two clauses is the same. While the lifeguard was kneeling over the still figure, he tried to just revive him. You know, the location, the physical location of this sentence must be in a swimming pool, and somebody was almost drowned, and they tried to just take him out of the water or pool, and they were trying to just get him back to life. So still means motionless. Let me write it down. Okay, and figure refers to the person who was almost drowned. You know, they were trying to revive him, means give life to somebody again. You know. Okay, it's clear, I think. And number 7 is dejected, means in low spirits, sad, melancholy. Let me write it down. Melancholy, dejected, sad. His biography related that Edison was not dejected by failure. His biography, we covered it. Related means showed, means depicted, is announced or indicated that Edison was not dejected by failure. Yeah, Edison is a famous figure in the history of successful people or highly successful people with a high level of perseverance and persistence. On many occasions, actually, he was defeated, but he did not accept it as an inevitability. It means he just rose again, and as far as I know, he failed up to 5,000 times, but he did not lose hope. Such a great person. Okay, sentence B. The defeated candidate felt dejected and scowled when asked for an interview. The dejected or the defeated, it means a person who was not victorious, who failed. The candidate felt dejected and sad and hopeless and scowled. Scowl means frown, means to show your anger. Or frown, to show your anger. For example, you raise your eyebrows and there are some wrinkles on your forehead. When asked, when he or she was asked for an interview, so he was not ready to just give an interview or have an interview. Sentence C, there is no reason to be dejected because we did not get any volunteer. So you don't need to be sad because we didn't have any volunteers. I think it's clear. And word 8, obedient. Obedient means doing what one is told, willing to obey. So the verb form is obey. It's a good idea to practice derivatives. Let me write it down. Or parts of a speech. What is meant by that? For example, we have obedience, obey as a verb, and the noun form is obedience, and the adjective form is obedient. Okay, and even these are parts of a speech of one word, obey. And even we have antonym disobey and disobedient, and actually it goes on. Let me add it to the dictionary. Okay. ADJ is an abbreviated form for adjective. Okay. Sentence A, the obedient dog came when his master beckoned. The obedient means just following the orders. Came when his master or owner beckoned, means give a signal. Give a signal. Obedient to his father's wishes, Guy did not explore any further. So again, the same story happens. Two clauses with the same subject. The subject is Guy in both clauses. So Guy was obedient to his father's wishes or orders or wants or desires. Therefore, he did not explore or investigate. Or search, look for, or even you can say probe. He did not make any further investigation because he was obedient to his father. C. When parents make reasonable requests of them, the majority of my friends are obedient. Okay, when their parents make reasonable requests or demands or ask them to do something, okay, the majority of my friends, almost most of them, as a matter of fact, most of my friends are obedient. It means they listen to their parents. Okay, they are obedient children. And number 9, recede. You know, re in Latin is a prefix. Prefix is a very let's say elementary or incipient element that is added to a word in order to add some meaning to that. That is prefix, and the opposite is suffix. And then we have affix. It's not very common in English, but this is something that is added to the middle of a word, you know, but it's not very common in English. Re means again, and let's say back, and sede in Latin means go. Okay, so recede means to go back, move back, slope backwards, withdraw. As you ride past in a train, you have the unique feeling that horses and trees are receding. So when you're on the, I think it must be on, not in, because for transportation systems such as trains, you know, with high ceiling, we use the preposition on. So as you are on the train and the train is moving, so you have this unique feeling. You just feel there's a misconception. It means that actually your perception is not correct, that houses or trees are receding or moving backward. But as a matter of fact, houses and trees are fixed in their places, and you just form this false idea that they are moving backward because of the fact that you're moving forward. Mr. Ranford's beard conceals his receding chin. So he must be a beardy person. So his beard conceals or hides his receding chin. His chin that is actually, that slopes backward. And sentence A, always cautious, Mr. Kamhi receded from his former opinion. Because he was so cautious, or let's say precautious or careful, Mr. Kamhi receded from his former opinion. Former means previous. So he just moved backward to his former idea or opinion because he was actually so cautious or precautious, or even you can say conservative or opinionated or obstinate. Yeah, in English we say stick to your guns. It means that actually say that I do not want to change my mind. Not changing your mind. So he did not want to change his mind. He just let's say stuck to his guns. Okay, and hold on. Okay, this is tyrant. Tyrant, a cruel or unjust ruler, cruel master, absolute ruler, or a dictator. Tyrant, dictator, despot. And the noun form of that is tyranny. Tyranny. So that is tyrant and this is tyranny. Means dictatorship. Despotism. Okay. Some tyrants of Greek cities were mild and fair rulers. Some of them in Greek cities such as Athens were mild and fair. It means just. Fair means just. Rulers mean kings or monarchs. Okay. Exceptionally. The tyrant demanded loyalty and obedience from his subjects. The tyrant or ruler, absolute ruler, demanded or asked for. When you demand, it means ask something very tenaciously and officially. Loyalty means fraternity and being loyal. And obedience, the state of obeying your rules. And from his subjects. Generally we say demand something. This is the structure. Sorry. So of somebody. I wonder why we have from here, but anyway. And subject also you can say subjugates. Subjugate. That means those who were controlled by him. Obedience from his. So also we say he asked the people or his people to abide by his rules. Abide by means conform to or comply with. Sentence C. Though Ella was a tyrant as dictator of the play, the whole cast was grateful to her when the final curtain came down. Although Ella as a dictator was such a tyrant, it means that she was a very accurate and bossy, let's say, or pushy or overbearing. Here means pushy, bossy, overbearing. Oh my god, what's wrong with that? Overbearing. Yeah, means giving a lot of commands. Giving a lot of commands or orders. Okay, so she was so manipulative, let's say, as a tyrant, as a dictator of the play. The whole cast refers to the players, the whole actors and players, was grateful or thankful. So cast here means all the players or actors. Remember, for female actors we have actresses. Okay. Grateful means thankful. Okay. To her when the final curtain came down, when the whole, let's say, play was performed. Number 11, charity is generous giving to the poor. Institutions for helping the sick. So money and the sick, the poor, or the helpless. Kindness in judging people's faults. It's clear and also self-explanatory. In English we have a proverb that says charity begins at home. It means that if you want to help people, try to help those who are closer to you. Okay. A free hospital is a noble charity. Free hospital is a noble, means very great charity or help, particularly to the poor who cannot afford it. The entire community is the beneficiary of Henry's charity. The entire community or organization or society or a group is the beneficiary of Henry's charity. Beneficiary, let me write it down, is the recipient of money or property. Recipient of money or property. Also heir. Remember, H is not pronounced. Yeah. So good for the entire community, because they are the beneficiary or receiver or recipient of Henry's charity. Okay. Sentence C. The hired hand was too proud to accept help or charity. Hired hand means farm worker. Laborer. The laborer was too proud. He was so proud that he did not accept help or charity or even tip. Clear. And the last word is verdict. Means decision of a jury. Jury are 12 people in a court of law that help the judge to come to a conclusion and judgment. So it means verdict has other meanings such as account, explanation, and also the decision made by jury. The jury returned a verdict of guilty for the traitor. And I already showed you the picture of a traitor, which means treacherous. Betrayer. Okay. Okay. The jury returned a verdict of guilty for the betrayer, so the jury found the betrayer or traitor or treacherous guilty. Okay. So we were cautioned not to base our verdict on prejudice. We were cautioned, which means we were precautious, we were practicing caution, not to base, not to establish our verdict, not to form our verdict based on prejudice. Prejudice means prejudgment. Prejudgment or bias. If a person has prejudice, we say the person is prejudiced or biased or bigot. Bigot or bigoted. Remember, bigot is a noun and bigoted is an adjective. Bigotry is the noun, another noun. Bigotry, yeah, bigotry is narrow-mindedness. Okay, so we did our best not to let any sort of prejudice overshadow or overwhelm our decisions or verdicts. Baffled by the verdict, the prosecutor felt that the evidence had been ignored. Baffled means confused or perplexed. Or puzzled. Okay, by the verdict, so he did not accept it, he did not even believe it. The prosecutor, prosecute means litigate, sue. A person who just let's say takes the case of a person as a convict to the courts of law for justice. You know, for example, when you think that a person is guilty, you go to the court of law and prosecute that person. So this is a kind of, we call it prosecutor, let's say. Also say plaintiff. So prosecutor is a plaintiff. Prosecutor, plaintiff. Okay, and the person who is taken to the courts of law because of the fact that we have a prosecutor is called the defendant. So we have two words, plaintiff versus defendant. We have a word that is very similar to prosecute, that is persecute. Remember, persecute, prosecute. These words are very similar in spelling. Persecute, okay, persecute means to bother and let's say annoy. Persecute. And prosecute is something else. Okay. Felt that the evidence had been ignored. So he was not content with the verdict because according to what he said, the verdict was not based on evidence. The evidence was ignored. Okay, that was for unit 38 of 504 absolutely essential words. As usual, you can if you have any question, at the bottom of the page there is a comment box and you can just use it if you have any question. And also you can follow me on Instagram to have access to a lot of beautiful flashcards in English, and I create at least one new flashcard every day. And there are, I think, 640 flashcards, beautiful flashcards here. Okay, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also for Iranians Aparat, to receive further English lessons and enjoy them. And if you want to cooperate with me in anything, just use this part in the footer area and you can contact me. And if you want to improve your English and attain our online classes, just actually contact me, and the first session is free. You can be there and you can test it, and if you're content or satisfied, you can officially register for the classes. Thank you very much and take care.